I weirdly have such an intimate relationship with a story that I'm covering, but I actually personally know this person from only, years of working on the same base as them several years ago, and that is Lance Corporal Catherine Arnett, that has been in the forefront of some of the biggest news media out there, especially covering military news, as it looks like the military is doubling down on some quotations bogus kind of allegations against her. And that's because her initial reason for even being under any kind of trouble or investigation was she had actually refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine, which has now been, redacted. And we all know that they backpedaled and they've said, now you can serve without it. It's not a requirement, X, Y, and Z. But for her situation specifically, it looks like this has been an ongoing issue even after that was redacted. I will have to give some credit to Echo 7 Sierra, as he did cover the story before she even was brought back to the United States and before she was actually in any kind of custody with the U.S. military in any capacity, as he was trying to get her story out beforehand. And this had been passed over onto the Terminal Chief Warrant Officer Instagram page, also known as TRMLX, where they cover this in depth. Everything was dropped, but now it looks like on their official release on their press website here, they lay out her charges, and this is what they say. They say that she was unauthorized absence. Lance Corporal Arnett was directed to report to the Iwakuni Passenger Terminal on 21 January 2023, but failed to do so. That's Article 86. They did Article 87 saying missing movement. Lance Corporal Arnett was ordered to board a rotator flight on January 22nd, 2023, in order to report to Separation Platoon aboard Camp Pendleton, California, in accordance with a separation order signed by the Commanding General, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing. She intentionally missed the flight. 87 Bravo. Breach of restriction. On 22 January 2023, Lance Corporal Arnett was ordered into pretrial restriction, see Enclosure 1, the same day she broke the terms of her restriction by refusing to stay in her barracks room. On 23 January 2023, the MAG-12 CO reiterated the terms of her restriction to her and asked if she intended to comply with said terms. She stated that she would not comply with the terms. 92 article here says failure to obey order or regulation since 1 December 2022. Lance Corporal Arnett has repeatedly disobeyed lawful orders to change her barracks room due to her recent PCA and to complete tasks associated with executing her separation from the Marine Corps, which was ordered by the Commanding General, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing, see Enclosure 3. And then lastly, this is what the Chief Warrant Officer Terminal Instagram page is going over, is this bogus charge of forgery. Lance Corporal Arnett forged her then commanding officer's signature on an official document in order to regain Defense Travel Service permissions he had previously revoked. I have no idea what, things he restricted from her as far as travel goes, but I am a little amazed that they put her in this barracks room. I'm not sure if that was to say you may not leave this place until you're to get on your flight. I'm unsure of their thought process. They thought she was going to escape. If you look at her interview with Echo 7 Sierra, she does commend, her service and says she just wants to serve and still honor her religious beliefs. She was very heavily influenced by her religious beliefs and things like that. So this is not like something I would say somebody was just faking or launching onto to try and have some kind of safety to not get it. I will say I personally did know this person. They were very involved with their religious beliefs. And it looks like from some of the documentation that Terminal Chief Warrant Officer got, it looks like they see some disparities based on what the true reason she was even locked up for. And that's because the forgery charge that you're seeing here, that they're relying everything on as to why they would send her back and have all these other charges on top of that, would not even be an issue unless that was true, which according to an email they're leaking here that was sent from the commanding officer to Catherine Arnett, it says this. It says, Lance Corporal Arnett, CNA number for Alaska is number whatever this is. The Mar Admin reference for the town and country was Mar Admin 152/22. The conference wasn't on base, but at the hotel. Thanks for your help. And they say this is an email from Arnett's CEO thanking her for her help after she had allegedly forged his signature to continue doing the job he was thanking her for. I understand how there is some confusion with this, and this does have a massive update as time has gone on, and Terminal Chief Warrant Officer has kept up with this story as there are more updates, as she was originally held in the brig over in Okinawa, Japan, but then was sent over to the brig in Marine Corps Air Base Miramar. Lance Corporal Arnett update. An officer reached out to the Miramar brig last week. Officials told him that Arnett had access to a phone and could reach out anytime. A prominent Marine who I won't name, visited yesterday and confirmed what we suspect. She's in solitary confinement, so officials lied about her having a phone. They claim only Arnett or her family can add people to the visitor list, but they are not letting her family see her. Hashtag shadow policy in full effect. Her mother was contacted and told verbatim she is eating and is fine. This was the only thing said to her. Her parents are at a loss as to how to reach out to their daughter. At this point, it is clear the Marine Corps wants to prevent Lance Corporal Arnett from speaking publicly by having access to anyone. They're willfully breaking regulations and denying her of her constitutional right to even seek counsel while lying to anyone who reaches out and saying she can. This is all being done for one reason. She's a young junior enlisted Marine who publicly spoke out against the mandate and refused all of their unlawful coercion in taking the jab, along with subsequent punishments after the fact. This simply is unacceptable to them, and they're sending a clear message that any resistance, even to unlawful orders, will be crushed. You better get invested in Arnett's situation, because at this point, it's clear she's a political prisoner, and we've seen the lengths this country will go to silence dissent. Due process gets revoked, and people rot in jail cells unlawfully. Now, you're hearing a lot of this where people are making claims or accusations against the U.S. military on an official front here to kind of say, like, why are her rights being infringed on? And, you know, what is she being held for exactly? But the story gets a little bit more twisty here, as we have our great friend of the channel. I won't say friend, I'll say person we've covered on the channel, Eddie Gallagher, who has had his own rights stepped on while he was in pretrial confinement. That was discussed, also including Stuart Scheller as well, where people spoke out about this, where now I'd say this is the third iteration since I've done topics like this where I've seen people talking about rights being infringed on while they're in some kind of military confinement situation. This is what Eddie Gallagher had to say about this situation.
As of 5 days ago, she was thrown in solitary confinement in the Miramar Brig for standing up for her beliefs, her religious beliefs, her rights, and due to the woke agenda in the military right now, they are punishing her for that. Okay, so we caught wind of this about 3 days ago from our good friend Giorgio Carrillo, who has been following her case. Not only did he contact us, he contacted a lot of other officials in Congress and a lot of other influential people across the United States, and the Marine Corps caught wind of it. And so as of 9 p.m. last night, they released her out of solitary confinement in the brig with nothing. They just kicked her out and said, "You're out of here." So let me tell you what that tells me. Is they knew what they were doing was wrong. And what is so disgusting is these officers who have been dealing with her situation, among all other officers who have known about this, do not have the backbone to speak up, because I know deep down they know what they are doing to this young woman is wrong. All right? They can sit there and spew out all their military propaganda, oh, you know, conduct unbecoming, and we stand for this and this and this. It's bullshit. All right? You know what you are doing to this woman is wrong, but you don't have the backbone to speak up. It's because the whole military leadership has been castrated by this woke agenda. All right? You guys are persecuting this young woman because she's a Christian and she's standing up for her beliefs. And you're going to throw her in solitary confinement so she can't speak out anymore? It's bullshit. And I'll tell you what, the Pipe Hitter Foundation is getting behind her right now, and we're going to blow this thing up and call you out for the cowards that you are. We are tired of it. We're tired of this whole agenda. We're tired of this woke crap, and the American people are as well. So
those are the talking heads that are out there talking about the situation. I do not see any stories talking about this as far as like Task and Purpose, a Marine Corps Times, Stars and Stripes. I don't see anybody else really picking up this story right now. So I'm wanting to talk about it and see your thoughts on this kind of things. Do you think that this is just, her being released because there's now some kind of media pressure to let her out? Or do you think that there was some justified belief, as this one signature was the whole reason why she's being held up and actually being put in solitary confinement? I'd like to hear what you guys think, and I'm waiting to have her come on the channel if we can later on to hear kind of the stories of how this unfolded, because this has been several months since this came out, and we really have heard nothing until right now in the past couple days. So if you guys want to check out the Pipe Hitter Foundation, I'll link that down below. But as always, the topic of this video is going to be discussed down in the comments below. Leave your comments down there. Let me know if you guys want me to cover something else. You can also hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.